Hello, welcome back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours, or just you if you're in the single club like I am. I thought today would be a rather apt time to film this. There are a lot of mixed reviews, I think, on the Twilight Saga, and as cringeworthy as I still find some of the films, the Twilight Saga will always be a significant part of my identity as a reader. I am a twihard, and I found the Twilight Saga when I was around 10, 11, I think, and this series was how I first discovered the concept of fandoms, shipping characters, and OTP. If you ship two characters, it means that you'd like them to be together or like the idea of them being together, regardless of whether or not that's how the author actually wrote them. If the author wrote them like that, they are a canon ship. If it's something that the fandom have come up with, then it's a fanship. Let me know in the comments if you remember when the whole Team Edward versus Team Jacob thing was everywhere. OTP stands for One True Pairing and is seen as the pairing that a fan ships the most, even though amongst most fandoms it's generally acceptable to have more than one OTP. So anyway, I've done a little research and compiled a list of all of the recognised ships in this fandom, and I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and views on each couple. Firstly, what is possibly the series' most problematic and controversial pairing, according to the fandom, Jacob and Renesmee. Although this pairing are canon, Jacob and Renesmee are easily the least popular, and it's easy to understand why. They may be a canon couple in the series, but Jacob's imprinting on Renesmee was just a problematic storyline that never really sat well with most fans. Stephanie Meyer's efforts to make imprinting sound less predatory through Jacob's explanation in Eclipse didn't go unnoticed by the fandom, but given this pairing's age gap, it did end up sounding quite like grooming instead. Whether Jacob acts on his feelings, the expectation is that once Renesmee is old enough, the two will have a romantic relationship, making their entire bond previous to that slightly uncomfortable for readers in hindsight. And it doesn't really help that for most of the series, Jacob was involved in a love triangle concerning Renesmee's parents, making their whole relationship even messier. Obviously, we can't avoid talking about Jacob and Bella. Had Jacob Black stayed in his kind, long-haired, new moon phase forever, then perhaps he could have been the better suitor for Bella. Unfortunately, Jacob's character changes drastically after he first phases into a werewolf, making it quite clear that he and Bella are not meant to be. Jacob constantly pressures Bella to realise her feelings for him, going so far as to kiss her without any consent. He repeatedly tells her that he would be the better match for Bella, aggressively pursuing her without respecting her boundaries, and Bella, in turn, still keeps him around, even though she's chosen Edward, which is unfair to Jacob. The two are obviously bad for each other and form one of the Twilight Saga's most toxic pairings, in my opinion, and after Jacob imprinted on Bella's child, there's really no way to justify this pairing today. Something I had no idea of was that Jasper and Bella are a decently popular ship amongst the Twihard fandom. Most of their appeal stems from Jasper's struggles to control himself around human Bella, with fanfiction honing in on that sort of forbidden love kind of trope that the two could share, but unfortunately beyond that aspect there's not much substance behind their relationship. Both Jasper and Bella share reclusive, sort of closed-off personalities, meaning that there will be no one there to balance the introvert between both of them. Further to that, Jasper's actions that kind of defined New Moon mean that he'd be a constant risk to human Bella as a partner. And so without enough evidence to really back this pairing, I think Jasper and Bella are an interesting ship, but not one that I really understand. Obviously, Edward and Bella are the series' central couple. Their love story is the one that fans are most exposed to, and the one most rooted for. The idea of a brooding vampire falling for the average human protagonist captivated most of the fandom, especially given the danger behind Edward and Bella's mutual attraction. Edward and Bella are a deeply romantic pair, making their teen romance even more swoon-worthy. But the two also share many toxic moments, whether it be Edward's controlling nature or Bella basing her entire identity on their relationship. Overall, Edward and Bella are certainly the Twilight Saga's most known ship, but far from the best one in my opinion. The Twilight Saga movie franchise did a huge disservice to Rosalie and Emmett's pairing by omitting their relationship backstory. When Rosalie finds Emmett being mauled by a bear, she swoops in to save him and begs Carlisle to turn him. Emmett mistook Rosalie for an angel in this moment and refused to look away from her even during his transformation, having eyes only for her and forever after that. The way Rosalie and Emmett speak about one another, it's clear how much love and respect they share. The two are always secure and comfortable in their relationship, and everything that the other wants in a partner, bar obviously Rosalie's desire to have children, which is something that she would probably trade even Emmett for. But beyond that shortcoming, the two are perfectly matched and an admirable canon ship. Jasper and Alice are the second most popular canon ship, and rightfully so, in my opinion. The two vampires come from their own sort of traumatic histories and found healing and love in each other. Their romantic discovery is one for the ages, with Alice seeing visions of Jasper before eventually finding him, knowing long beforehand that they were destined to be together. The couple's personalities complement each other well, with Alice's fun and outgoing sort of balancing out Jasper's withheld and brooding nature. As two of the Twilight Saga's most powerful vampires, Jasper and Alice understand each other and their enhanced abilities. As a canon pair, Jasper and Alice are the Twilight Saga's better suited match, I think, but the two are somewhat average compared to other fanships. I was shocked to find out that some fans actually think Bella and Rosalie's relationship should have been more. Rosalie and Bella are complete opposites, which is exactly why fans love shipping them. The two share many tense moments during their first encounters, laying the perfect foundation for an enemies to lovers type character arc. Rosalie and Bella's contrasting personalities also make them a worthwhile pair. While the vampire is a beauty queen who loves attention, Bella is the average human girl who hates being the centre of focus, making them a shoo-in for the opposites attract kind of trope. Rosalie and Bella's blooming friendship gives their ship even more fuel. With their tender moments highlighting their common values, the two would complement each other well. To be honest, the idea of Rosalie and Bella leading a domestic vampire life with Renesmee certainly sounds a lot more exciting and healthy than many of the Twilight Saga's canon ships. A theory that I find quite hilarious, but that I also can't deny, is that Jacob and Edward could have been the Twilight Saga's best enemies to lovers pairing. Edward and Jacob spent so much time bantering and hating each other that a lot of fans couldn't help but ship them, especially after the tension in that eclipse tent scene. Some fans argue that Edward and Jacob's pairing could have been the Twilight Saga's ultimate enemies to lovers pairing, and that character arc would have bettered the series substantially. For starters, the ship solves the whole Edward, Bella, Jacob love triangle by removing its least interesting point. Sorry, Bella. Plus, Robert Pattinson and Taylor Lautner's palpable chemistry only furthers the popularity of this fanship. Edward and Jacob's slow burn romance also would have bridged together the Cullen vampires and Quileute shapeshifters, and the duo would have become an ultimate supernatural pairing. Whereas Jacob is adventurous and reckless, Edward is more reserved and meticulous, and the two could come together for a more holistic approach to the world. A true match made in Forks. While Edward and Jacob never had a chance in the Twilight Saga, this ship does have high hopes amongst fans who realise the pair's limitless potential, although I personally can't say that I ship this pairing. Carlisle and Esme are the Twilight Saga's timeless romance. Something never shown in the Twilight Saga films is that Carlisle and Esme share a long history that makes their relationship and love story all the more charming. Esme met Carlisle at a young age and was immediately enamoured by his whole persona. And after suffering a terrible trauma, Esme is then reunited with Carlisle, and he saves her in more ways than one. He finds a home with her, and the two share an unmatched level of respect, devotion, understanding, and together Carlisle and Esme lead the Cullens as a couple on their strange parenting journey only deepens their affection. Carlisle and Esme are the series' most mature, healthy, and inspiring love story, making them possibly one of the only pairings in the Twilight Saga that I can't fault. Something that I have to admit made me laugh was finding out that some of the fandom actually shipped Bella with Alice. But then it kind of made sense. Although Bella commits to Alice's brother, Alice's friendly and outgoing nature could have been exactly what Bella needed. With Alice often helping Bella break out of a comfort zone, Alice also proves to be Bella's sounding board. Throughout the series, she helps Bella in various ways, whether it be through direct advice or by Alice's memory helping Bella with Edward's disappearance. Alice constantly goes out of her way to protect Bella and make her feel loved, a trait that's often highlighted in their fanfictions. Rather than toxic and abrasive personalities, Bella needed a kind and nurturing partner who would be her biggest cheerleader and confidant to help build her self-esteem. And Alice would have done exactly that. This couple is probably the Twilight Saga's best fanship, proving that the answer was never really Edward or Jacob all along. So I know that this has been a completely different video, but I was feeling nostalgic. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want more videos of me talking absolute nonsense. I will be back with the book reviews. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload my next review.